Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Stop in the name of love before you break my heart. Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show. No, I'm not going to sing anymore. Don't worry, you're safe. This is the topic of today's show. It's HALT, okay? Not stop, but HALT. Very similar. I want to welcome you if this is the first time to the Heal Your Hunger Show. My name's Tricia Nelson, and I'm super excited to have you here. If you struggled with food and weight in any way, shape, or form, you are in the right place. And if you haven't jumped over to the Heal Your Hunger Tribe on Facebook, please do. This is a private group for emotional eaters. Anybody who struggles with food and weight will be welcomed there. This is where we talk further about many of the topics covered here on the show. And I have guest speakers and weekly Facebook Lives and lots of goodies and giveaways. So please join me there, the Heal Your Hunger Tribe on Facebook. Okay, into our topic of HALT. Now, if you're not familiar with what HALT means, this is what you do when things are getting crazy and out of control, okay? And I don't mean with food, I mean before you get crazy and out of control with food. If you don't HALT first, the food is next. So HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, okay? So the point of HALT is to halt before you get too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Now, in my crazy overeating, overdoing days, I thought you had to wait till you had all four of those before you halted. Not so. I learned subsequently that if you're too hungry, you need a halt. If you're too angry, it's time to halt. If you're too lonely, it's time to halt. And if you're tired, it's definitely it's time to halt. So I'm going to go through each of these here because they are directly related to how much you eat and the food choices that you make. Okay, HALT is so important for emotional eaters. And this isn't going to be a long show. I'm going to get right to it so you can get on with your day. But just know, as you go along, you got to keep watching out for these things. So the first one is hungry. Okay, you don't want to get too hungry for obvious reasons. As emotional eaters, we're very good at trying to hack the system and skipping meals, okay? It's like, breakfast, who needs it? So we blow through breakfast and we move on with our day, and we might even try to blow through lunch. You know, we have very tricky, manipulative minds, and we're like, hey, if I skip a meal here and there, I'll lose weight. Well, I have news for you. If you are an emotional eater, you will never win at that game, okay? Our bodies and our psyches know when we've skipped meals, and we will make up for it. I promise you. Either your body's going to get so hungry, it's going to be like, halt and feed me now, and then you'll end up overfeeding yourself. Or, you know, chances are that you are, basically setting yourself up for a binge because you've tried to take control. You've taken the reins and you're like, I'm going to control my weight. I'm in charge here. And again, psychically speaking, it ain't going to fly. So you're going to end up overeating, and then you'll see who's boss. So the point is, when you get too hungry, you do set yourself up for failure around food. And the best prescription I have is 3-meal magic. That's 3 meals a day with nothing in between. But you know what's so interesting is that emotional eaters are the worst at this, okay? They're the worst at feeding themselves, which is ironic, isn't it? That the people who feed themselves more food than anybody on the planet end up really having all these machinations around starvation and skipping meals and deprivation. So the easiest, most sane way is to feed yourself 3 times a day. Stop mucking, stop fooling around with this. Feed yourself 3 meals a day. You are worth it. So much of the time we don't even feel worthy of making a meal, pausing in our day, taking time, sitting down, breathing as we're eating, putting, a fork into the food and putting it to our mouth. We are just in such a rush. We're skipping meals, or we're stuffing ourselves, in 5 minutes flat. And all of it is not sound eating, and it will end up in really bad habits with food, and you don't want that. So, how would you feed your daughter, your sweet baby daughter? Would you tell her to, skip her first 2 meals of the day? No. So why are you doing it to yourself? Feed yourself as you would your sweet baby daughter, and feed her 3 nutritious meals, and make sure they're full meals so that she feels satisfied in between her meals. Okay, but if you get hungry, this is time to take a time out. Okay, notice your hunger pangs. Notice when you're feeling hungry. Don't go too long without eating. It's a perfect setup for a binge. Okay, the second one in the HALT acronym is angry. Arrgh. Emotional eaters hate feeling angry, and yet we feel it quite a lot, but we bury it with food. So oftentimes we're not even aware of being angry. We're so nice. Emotional eaters are such nice people, right? We're people pleasers. Like, we take the cake on being nice, pardon the pun. So you got to watch out for when underneath that smile and that, sort of plastic demeanor of, isn't everything wonderful? Underneath is a burning cauldron of anger, okay? You got to watch for that. We get resentful very easily because we're people pleasers, because we don't think we're allowed to feel angry. So we just, deny it, and then we stuff those feelings with food. So often emotional eaters are terrified of anger. I know I have been. And so watch for that. Watch for those thoughts of, screw her, or damn him, or that's not fair. This is where resentment comes from. And the problem with emotional eaters is that we bury those feelings because we're afraid of them. We're so afraid. It goes so against, our really impression of ourselves as being so nice, as being so kind and wonderful, to be the shoulder to cry on. Emotional eaters are the life of the party. We're friendly, we're outgoing, we're loving, we're kind, we're generous. So many positive things that when we feel angry, it's very dissonant with our impression of who we are, and we're so afraid that people won't like us if they detect any anger in us. So we stuff it. We stuff it with food, and that's really the worst thing we can do, because it's going to come out, either on ourselves and as well onto other people. It'll come out sideways to the person at the checkout stand, or some person on the phone, from another country when we're trying to get our phone bill paid. So, really important to address it. Notice it when you have anger. Notice it and address it. That's the healthy thing to do. Not stuff it, but to deal with it. So pay attention when you're feeling angry. What can you do? Put pen to paper. I find that writing is such a great tool for getting strong feelings out without hurting anybody with them, and without hurting myself. So I put pen to paper, fingers to the keyboard, and I write it out. I write all kinds of stuff. Some strong language, okay? I let the swear words fly because I want to get the heat out. I want to get that anger out because I don't want it to hurt me, and I don't want to sublimate it and become depressed. So much of depression is really just anger that's been pushed down and pushed down. So notice when you're angry, address it in a proper way. Grab a friend, make a phone call, talk it out with somebody safe, but get it out of you so you don't stuff it with food. Now, the L in HALT is lonely. Oh my goodness. As emotional eaters, I think we are more acquainted with loneliness than anyone, because we have that hole in our soul, that emptiness, that really dark place inside that we don't let other people see, again, because it's not congruent with the person and the personality we put out to the world. So we have that deep aching emptiness inside. I've had it my whole life. I generally don't feel it now, but I can from time to time on a dark day, on a Sunday, and when it's dark and there's not a whole lot going on, or my husband's out of town or something, and I just sort of not quite sure what to do next, it can show up, or if I get sad news. But the point is, it's natural for any human being to feel this from time to time. I just feel like as emotional eaters, no matter how many people we're around, sometimes we can feel lonely. I know I've been in a room full of people, and I have felt incredibly isolated and lonely, especially when I was in my overeating days. So just notice that when you are feeling lonely, so much of the time we stuff ourselves to try to avoid that feeling. And so it's really important that we notice that feeling, that we just, it's so much of what I'm talking about is paying attention to how we feel, like what's really going on, how are we feeling? Because the more we can pay attention to our feelings and address them on the spot, the less likely we are to stuff them with food. Okay, so notice the loneliness. Take actions, to ameliorate this. Take actions to get out of yourself, to get together with a friend, to, have some community, arrange for a dinner at your house with girlfriends, have some girls over to watch a movie, arrange for a movie night with girlfriends, or if you're a guy, with guy friends, do something guys like to do that's, healthy, and can create community, playing cards together, whatever. I don't mean to be sexist. Girls can play cards too, but you know what I mean. Something that guys are into. Chick flicks are probably not it. But the point is, do something to get out of yourself and out of your head, because so much of the loneliness is just a state of mind where over and over we're thinking, I don't have any friends, I don't have anybody to hang out with, I'm a loser. It can go south really fast. So just, what actions can you take to have a little bit more connection and community in your life? I know for emotional eaters who are in the Heal Your Hunger program, we have a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, and we have live calls together where we connect. I mean, people from all over the world are on those calls, and we are connecting at the heart level every Sunday night. So be a part of a community where you don't feel lonely. And being with other emotional eaters is the best thing you can do, because so much of the time nobody understands us better than we understand each other. The last letter in the HALT acronym is tired. And I can't think of anything that drives us to eat more than when we're lacking energy. It's hard when we don't have energy and we're just like stumbling through the day, and we just feel like I don't have anything left in me. The most obvious thing to do, and this is what everybody does, is they grab something to eat. Like get me some quick energy, and so hence we end up snacking through the day, and lack of energy and being tired can come from many physical issues, maybe hormonal or adrenal, or it's just lack of sleep. You're not getting enough sleep. I know I've been under rested a good part of my life, and I'm really making an effort now to get more sleep so that I can feel more energized throughout the day. And I've had adrenal issues, but so much of those are caused by my lack of sleep. So I'm really making a conscious effort to get to bed earlier. I'm like, everybody in my life knows it. I'm going to bed at 9:30 nowadays. I mean, I've never in my life gone to bed so early, but it's great. It's great. I'm getting more rest. So be conscious of your sleep and how to get more sleep. There are supplements you can take, melatonin and 5-HTP and some other supplements that can help you rest. Theanine. These are supplements that can help your body relax and rest more easily. But the point is, being tired is a trap for emotional eaters. It's a big trigger because we just reach for food. Now, when I'm tired, like in the afternoon, if I get a slump, which I often do after I eat my lunch, By 1 or 2 in the afternoon, I've been known to go ahead and do my afternoon meditation then, early. And usually it's around 4:35, but if I'm really tired, I'll meditate at 2 in the afternoon, and I'll get the immediate pick-me-up that I would normally have gotten from food in the olden days. So meditation is an amazing pick-me-up. And people think, oh, meditation is going to make me really chill and meditative. But I find that if I really sit down and shut up for 20 minutes and I really sort of have that peaceful time, I am reinvigorated. It's amazing. It's not the quick fix that sugar is, or a bag of chips, obviously. But the truth is, if I spike my blood sugar with carbs and sugar, I'm going to crash. So meditation's more long lasting. Another thing you can do is go walk around the block. Put your coat on, go out the door, and take a brisk walk. It's an amazing thing to do. Put earbuds in your ears and talk to God. Have a little chat with God. Get invigorated with some spiritual sustenance. Or turn on, iTunes or Pandora and or some app on your phone that gives you some awesome music. Listen to some really upbeat music. A great way to change your state and to no longer feel tired. There are so many more options than choosing food, okay, when you're tired. But the point is, for HALT, is don't get too tired. And if you're feeling tired, HALT, okay? All these things, don't get too hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. HALT is an acronym, and a great acronym, because it's reminding us to take a break, okay? To notice how we're feeling, notice what's going on for us, and to take a pause and address it. Because when we're in automatic pilot, when we're rushing through our day, when we're in go, go, go mode, we end up at the end of the day with our face in the fridge, and we have no idea why. We have no idea why. Whereas if we got conscious during the day, we started paying attention to our feelings, to the feelings of hunger and therefore feeding ourselves, to the feelings of anger and therefore writing or talking to a friend or praying, or loneliness, picking up the phone to talk to a friend or make some arrangements to get together for tea with a friend, and tiredness. When we start paying attention to these emotions and we call a time out to do something that will address these things, or we just stop altogether, we just say, I'm done for the day, I'm going home, or I'm done with this, meeting that I'm at, I'm leaving early, I'm going to go home, I'm going to put my pajamas on and read a good book. When we take care of ourselves, that's really the message here, isn't it? When we stop and take care of ourselves, we have a different outcome with food. So remember to HALT. Don't get too hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Remember to get support. Join us in the Heal Your Hunger community. You can start with the Heal Your Hunger tribe. It's free. It's online. Check in there. Be a part of what we're doing there. And if you want additional support, definitely join 10 Weeks to Freedom and be a part of the HYH community. But regardless of what you do, know that you can't do this alone, that it takes a village, and you deserve to get the support you need to really have the best possible relationship with food ever. So remember HALT, okay? And put it into practice. Don't overdo it, and take good care of yourself. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be with you. I will see you on the next show. Take care.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit HealYourHunger.com.